ZAPR2K said, tell us about your favorite road trip.
My favorite road trip, I'd have to say it's probably the one where we went to go visit my grandma for like the very first time in California. It had been like years since like I had actually been in California, so I didn't remember like anything at all of that place, like nothing at all. I never really knew what it even looked like right after a while. So going to visit her and seeing like all the different buildings, right, compared to like here in Texas, there's like a lot of things that are different. I think like it was really nice because there's like a lot of lights out there, and then you know the beaches out there are really nice compared to here. So I think as a kid growing up, like I feel like that was one of my favorite trips because not only did I go see my grandma, I kind of also got to see like things that are different, right? Like just different like views. Buildings were also different, right? They weren't the same as like your basic building here. Their buildings were a bit more stretched out. I don't know, man. There was a lot of things that we, you know, just hadn't seen before. Also, people walking around over there was really cool to see because you don't see that here a lot. Obviously, once we got to my like cousin's side of the neighborhood, you didn't really see people walking around because it's kind of the ghetto again. Aside of that, though, like on the other side of town, you saw a lot of people walking. That's something here too that you don't see often. Like you see a lot of people like in their cars and driving everywhere. You don't really see people walking here. So I was about 6 or 7. I went with my parents. And what did I do along the way? I played on my Game Boy Advance and I listened to music. That's what I did, man. That's all I ever did as a kid, bro. Is I played games and listened to music, dude. What games? Mostly Mario, Donkey Kong, things like that. Pokemon. Bella's still a Pokemon fan. I am no longer a Pokemon fan at all. What are my top 5 favorite Christmas memories and why? Okay. There was the one where I had just started becoming a gamer. My parents decided that they were going to surprise me with a game. They bought me Battlefield. I really enjoyed the game a lot. Yeah, it wasn't a bad game. The second one, I have to say, when me and my sister tried cooking for our first time. I don't think the whole family, I don't think anybody in the family is gonna forget that one, dude. My sister forgot water to something we were making. I forgot to turn it on. Then when I did turn it on, I put it for an hour. And so obviously that wasn't enough time to cook it. I was told to go put it for another hour, and I set it for 10. I pressed the 0 too many times and I set it for 10 hours, dude. It started smelling really bad. And because my sister forgot to add water into it, it was even worse. Third one is a Christmas that we had with my grandma and my grandpa. Obviously, just because, you know, it was like the whole family united, you know, having a good time. Fourth one, honestly, man, I'm gonna have to go with, I know. All right, so the fourth one, my mom and my dad were separated for quite some time. And near Christmas, basically, that was our, I don't know, I guess you could say like our miracle to say. But they ended up getting back together, which was good for, you know, my brother and my sister because they were a bit younger. Yeah, as far as the fifth one goes, oh, bro, you know what? I know which one. All right. So I opened the present from my grandma, okay? And you know, I always used to make fun of people because, you know, like they would say that grandma knitted them a sweater and shit like that, right? I always used to make fun of those people. I'm like, bro, y'all's grandma must hate y'all, bro. If they're knitting y'all sweaters, dude, your grandma must hate you. I opened a gift, man, and my grandma knitted a whole blanket, dude. My friend, he was over like for Christmas, and he's just like, bro, if you thought our grandmas hate us because they knit us sweaters, how do you think your grandma feels about you? She just knitted you a whole blanket. Okay, so top 3 most disappointing games ever, dude. 1, Diablo. I got really far into Diablo, dude, and I worked my ass off, dude, just for someone to basically drop me modded gear. I knew nothing about this gear, right? I thought it was just high tier gear and that I was really good at the game. Turns out it was modded gear and basically insta-killed almost anything, and it ruined the fucking hell out of the game for me, dude, because when I found out it was modded gear, obviously I threw it away and I said, this game, I don't want to play it no more. I was so disappointed because I actually liked the game, but the fact that it looked so easy because of that modded gear, I didn't really want to start over, man. As much as I could have, the only thing is, like, I was that far into it that I just did not want to start over. And I just felt like if I kept going with the modded gear, it was just cheating and it was just gonna be like really stupid, you know? They came in from stream. They asked if if they could play. I told them sure. And yeah, he dropped it and told me it was an upgrade, right? And I've never played Diablo before. I never touched a Diablo game. So I knew nothing about what the game looked like. I knew nothing about the gear. I didn't know shit about the game, dude. I was just learning that game. Matter of fact, I think my brother is the one that got me into Diablo. It was big rip. It was a really fun game, but I don't know. That kind of ruined it for me. And I've never touched a Diablo game ever since. Number 2, I would have to say... Oh, what's that game called, dude? It's a zombie game, but it's not Walking Dead, obviously. It's a different game.
Back for Blood.
No.
Resident Evil?
No. I honestly do not remember the name of it, dude. Let me see if I can see the case real quick with the light. I've got the Tower of Games here with me. I'll have to look for it some other time. I don't know where it's at. I've got too many fucking games. Anyway, it was a game about like zombies and like you have to basically clear like a whole bunch of zombies, right? And this isn't like an escape kind of game. This is kind of just where like you and a friend basically fight off like just straight, herds like of zombies and shit. And this game was a lot of fun. But the storyline to it in the beginning was very well put together, but then towards the end it got really sloppy. Like they started making everything look really dumb. The people that you thought were good turn out to be quote unquote bad, and then they're quote unquote good again, right? And then they started making it where the person you play dies and then you don't die, and it was like, what? Like, what? How does that even make sense, bro? You're dead, but you're not dead. They're good, but they're not good. So, like, the gameplay overall, I gave it like a 10 out of 10. It was pretty fun to play with, with a friend. I tried it solo. I don't recommend the game solo at all, ever. And the story was fucking complete. The third one, probably Devil May Cry. I was more disappointed because I passed the entire game, and I really enjoyed it. I loved the game, but I just couldn't really keep up with all the other ones they were making. So the story one, I ended up quitting because of the story, right? The zombie one. I ended up quitting because of the way the story was going. That's when I quit. Obviously, Diablo with the armor, I quit for that reason. I didn't want to start over. And Devil May Cry, there was quite a few of them that they made. So I lost track of all of them, and I just ended up quitting because I couldn't be bothered to keep up with all of them. But, it was a good game. It was a really good game.